Twitch page, and we should be fine. But just in case, I'm going to take a drink. All right. Hello, everyone. This is Chris Ingerson, and it is August 26th, and this is the August 26th TextQuest Devstream. So, today we are going to be working on our custom content stuff again, since it's the weekend. That's what I'd like to do on the weekends. We're going to start out a little slow. I'm actually going to try to figure out a bug that we're currently having. I'm not sure if I can fix it. It might be an issue with one of the assets that I'm using, but hopefully we can. Oh, wait. I haven't actually done anything yet. So currently there's this weird bug with drop-downs that for some reason you can't see the options, the text that's displayed there. So we're going to create a, oops, that's the wrong type of drop-down. We're going to create a TextMesh Pro drop-down, UI, TextMesh Pro drop-down. And we're going to see if its options are invisible. So this is the default drop-down, no changes by me, just standard drop-down. Okay, all of those are visible. Now let's try the other, or let's try making our edits. So I'm going to change this label to use my 8-bit font, and we're not going to do anything else. We're going to see if that will work. I think we'll have a mismatch in our options, but yeah, so these are using the wrong font, but that's fine for now. So those still show up, and that's fine. All right. So now let's see what happens when I actually modify our template. Let's come down here to content, item, and item label. All right, I'm going to change this to our 8-bit font. That's it. So all I've done is change the font on this dropdown. I've done nothing else. Speaking of nothing else, you know what I didn't do is I haven't walked on screen. It's probably important. So let's see. Okay, so we're getting somewhere. So these options all show up. Great. That must mean it's some sort of nesting issue. All right. Well, I'll bite then. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go back to our splash fade. Don't save, don't care. Just want to test this scene. Man, it takes forever to load in the splash fade. So I'm going to show you the current menu that we're working on, which is the variable system menu, I guess. So how you add and delete custom variables for your game. All right, so let's go ahead and play. So maybe I just need to rebuild these drop-downs from scratch. Maybe that's all I have to do. That'd be super weird, but I wouldn't doubt it. All right, we're going to click through all this. Hit start. We're going to go to extras, author mode, create, Zork. We're going to go to game settings. So currently, when I select my drop-down here, you can see that I don't see any options for some reason. So I'm not entirely sure why that is the case. So I'm going to try to basically rebuild this drop-down from scratch and see if that fixes the problem. It could just be a weird serialization problem. Maybe I duplicated that and the original one was broken as well. Actually, I know for a fact the original one was broken, so we'll see if we can fix that. You know what I probably should do is make sure that, okay, good. Make sure that I actually have volume on. So after the eternity that it takes for Unity to actually stop playing, which I still don't know why it does that. I really should get that looked at. But I guess at this point I can just hold on to it until the end of September. Because I'm planning on going down to, well, not planning, I am going down to Unite in Austin at the end of September, beginning of October. And they have a pretty cool session down there where you, well, not a session, but like a room that you can sit with specific people from Unity. You can ask them tips on how to troubleshoot some stuff. So it might be good to ask them why it takes so long for it to stop playing there. In any case, I'm going to go ahead and turn on our UI. So we're going to kind of just pop open our variable node here. I'm going to put it directly under the UI. And I'm just going to remake it from scratch here. I'm not going to worry too much about anything else. So we're going to go down to settings, type, and type dropdown. So we're going to keep type dropdown as just a reference, but we're not actually going to use it. We're going to make our own UI, text mesh pro dropdown. All right. Also going to rename this one type dropdown dash old. Ta-da. All right. I'm going to call this one type dropdown. And let's see. We'll go to fade duration of 0.2. Is there anything? Not in particular, I guess. We'll make this black by default with, what is it, middle gray and then dark gray. Don't really care about disabled color because it's never going to be disabled. No navigation. And that's pretty much all we have to do there. We're going to change our label to use the correct font, so 8-bit font. Close that out. We're going to go down to our template, and we're just going to change the item label here to use 8-bit font, and that's it. That is all we're going to do. That's all we have to change for now. There are some slight differences that we need to do, I suppose. Like we got to change our background here to, wow, that did not do what I was expecting. Here we are. So solid, sliced, I believe is what we want. And we have to make sure that it stretches. But aside from that, I don't think we really need anything. So let's just leave this as is. Oh, and I guess we need to make our text here white. But aside from that, I'm not going to do anything else. So I'm going to disable this type dropdown. I'm going to reassign. Oops. Is that not, there it is. I'm going to reassign this. And then we're going to hit apply. And we're going to try this out, see if this works. So let's go ahead and disable this UI. Hit save. And play. Hello, Gelmega. Welcome back. Doing some extensive unit testing, found 3 bugs, which 7 functions had, so solved 21 bugs at once. Nice. Yeah, that's the power of unit testing. It's very much a headache to set up. Let's see. Author mode, create, Zork, game settings, new variable. Dang it, come on! Seriously? Okay. So even remaking it doesn't seem to do much. I wonder... Alright. So we're going to do a quick test scene, similar to what we did at the very beginning, where I just have an empty scene with this in it. But I would like to basically keep nesting components until we get to a point where maybe this is being caused by a stencil issue, because I know that you can only go so far down with masking, and maybe this is getting masked just because it's so low. That would be super weird to me, but maybe that's why. Wait. No way. No way. Hold on. I might have thought of something. I really hope that that's not the case. I will be I will be so angry. The importance of unit testing. Yeah, I mean, unit tests are great for smoke tests. You know, you make one change, just run your unit test. It's all automated, so it takes like 5 seconds, and then boop, everything's fine. Or nope, something's on fire. Author, create, Zork. Okay, we're gonna go to game settings. We're gonna add a couple. Ah, dang it! I was really hoping that was it. I was really hoping that it was a masking issue caused by the scroll rect, but that does not seem to be the case. Dang it. Great. God, this drop-down stuff is killing me because it's been happening forever. I would really, really like to fix it. So we're going to do some quick tests, and then if we can't figure it out, we'll move on to actually saving and loading these variables. Because we can create them, and we can populate them, but we don't save and load them currently. I'm going to recreate Zork. That is the end term goal, kind of. The end goal of the custom content stuff is to be able to make basically Zork from my engine. So people will be able to say, I want all of these interactions, I want these items, I want these words, this dictionary, what have you, and have it more or less function like Zork did. I probably can't include Zork because it's Zork, but I can at least test it using Zork as a base. So we're gonna go ahead and go to an empty scene. We're gonna create a canvas. We're gonna create UI image. We're gonna stretch that all the way across, and then we're just gonna start messing with drop downs. So Text Mesh Pro drop down, and actually something else we might try real quick. I'm gonna try changing these fonts from Mic font to just the default Arial font, I believe, or Liberation Sans, I think. Pretty sure that's what it is, right? Yep. All right. Liberation Sans. Apply. So we're gonna see if that works. I'm just gonna call this one. What do I want to call this? Drop down test. All right. Let's go back to splash fade. So I'm really just curious why it works in some places and why it works in others. It's really strange to me. Click through all this stuff. Extras, author mode, create, Zork. Okay. Okay, so it doesn't work for those either. That's good. Um, Interesting. Maybe it is a stencil buffer issue. Wow, need to test 14 versions of a function for 4 cases each. Yep, that's that's why unit testing exists. It's perfect for that exact situation. Pretty much anything that's tedious and can technically be done by humans, but is really a waste of time to do so, unit testing shines there. One of these days we'll be able to stop playing and then actually stop playing as soon as I click on it. All right, let's jump back to our test scene real quick. So we're going to just pile on cases here. So we're going to change the label because we know that that works at the very least. So let's go ahead and say 8-bit font, and then the template. Change our item label to 8-bit font. So this should work if we just play it as is with just the labels changed. And once we know that, we're just going to start adding things until eventually it goes away. Okay, so that all works. Good. Let's see. What do we want to add next? Let's put this in a scroll rect. So create UI, scroll view. We'll have this stretch to fill everything. And we're just going to put our drop down below content. And I guess we'll have our content be a, hold on. We're going to do this. Change our game object, have drop down be below that, have content, use a vertical layout group, and then we're going to stretch our drop down to fill the entire width of this. Oh, and I should probably do this. Width. And I don't really care about height, so I'm just going to leave that as that. All right, so let's see if the options go away now. They do! Aha! Okay. So I might have been right. It might have something to do with being in a scroll rect. Or it might have something to do with being stretched out like this. So let me go ahead and say create UI TextMesh Pro dropdown. I mean, it's centered, but it seems weird. All right, let's center this then, like that. Okay, see if that works. Oi, Clariel. What are we doing today? We're doing custom content creation. That's what my Saturdays are for. Okay, so that's not it. Specifically right now, we're trying to fix a weird UI bug where drop-downs, for some reason, don't show their options when they are... Theory, I guess, right now is when they're below a scroll rect. No idea why. That's super weird, but that seems to be the case. So let's go to content here, hit F. If I remove the mask, does that do it? Just going to try that, see what happens. How are you today, by the way? Ha! Okay, so it's the mask. Let's turn scroll view. Let's turn this mask back on, and they're gone. Yep. Okay. Interesting. Then, is it always under a mask that it breaks? Let's try. So I'm gonna move this. We'll just have this be a width of, I don't know, 500, height of 50, and we'll put it in the center again. All right, so we'll also turn off our scroll view. We're gonna try this out, make sure that it works, and then we'll add a mask above it to see if that makes it go away. Okay, so all that works. Oh, double that, need to test it with reserving extra space in the vector and without. Technically, that should be tripled. Copy constructor assignment. You do have a lot to test. All right, so we're gonna make our root image here a mask. So I don't remember if that's just under UI. I think it is. So we're gonna do a mask. Okay, let's try this. And there it is. So it's the mask. Ah, that's really problematic. Well, we know what it is at the very least, so that's kind of what I wanted to do. I'm not sure if I can really fix that. All right, well, at least now we know what it is, and that makes me happy. So I will go to the forums for TextMesh Pro after the stream today, and I will try to figure this out. All right, we're going to jump back to splash fade, and then we're going to get to work on actually saving and loading our content. Get rid of a bunch of stuff here. All right. Let's go to, I guess it wouldn't be author session, but we'll need this anyway. So go to definition, let's drag this over. Go to custom game session, go to definition, drag that over. All right. So let's see here. The first thing we're going to do today, after all that testing, is we're going to get variables actually saving and loading. So currently, let's go ahead and show that. So currently you can actually declare new variables in custom games, and you can set what type of variable they are. So you can say, I want a string, a bool, an int, or a float. You can give it a unique name. It automatically has a unique integer ID. And then you can give it a default value and, well, specify its type, which is what we already said. So that is already a thing that exists. You can already do that. So we go up here to Zork, we go to game settings, we can add a new variable, spawns, oh crap, it's using the wrong stuff. Okay, we gotta change that back. So currently option 1 is string, option 2 is, I believe, int, or is this, okay, that's float. Option 3 is a int, and option 4, which doesn't exist, because this is using a incorrect dropdown, is bool, and you can specify what you want it to be. So let's go ahead and we're gonna go ahead and just stop playing. I'm going to swap those out again. So even though we can create these new variables right now, we can't actually, or no, we can't. We don't actually save them. So when the session ends, it's just lost forever. It's not actually written down to the save file. So we have to add that support, and that's what we're going to start off with. Most common problem with programming doesn't work, and you don't know why. Yeah. That's actually the reason, that's the big reason why I don't like shader programming. Because shader programming in Unity is just like, well, it's broken. That's all you get. That's all you get to know is that it's broken. Okay, we're going to change type back to using the old drop down. So we're going to delete this and delete the old part because that is not old anymore. It's just how it is. Drop down, hit apply. Let's delete that, save, and then turn off our UI. All right, so now we should be able to actually show the full gamut of variable creation that we have. Click through our splash screens. Create Zork. And we're going to say game settings, new variable. Here we are. So string, float, int, and bool. Simple as that. Although with our messed up drop downs, you can see that our options for bool are not super great. Can't tell which one you're selecting. In any case, so this is currently where we're at. We can actually rename things, change its type, and change its default value. Then we can delete them. But actually, I don't even know if deleting will actually work. Okay, it does. So the next thing we want to do is save those variables that we create and then load them in when we populate the game. So, do you like, or does Star Citizen interest you? Something funny happened yesterday. They were giving a demo, 1 hour in, the game client crashed, and they had to restart the demo from the beginning, 30 minutes without explanation to get where they were before the crash. Star Citizen is vaporware. That is probably the best way to phrase it. Yeah, I'm not really super ecstatic about Star Citizen. I mean, in theory, it's a cool idea, but I feel like they're not really doing much with it. Like it just doesn't seem that interesting, just based on what they're like, how they've approached it. Like in theory, it's cool, being able to seamlessly transition from space stations to open space and fly everywhere with all your fancy ships and whatnot. But I don't know, it just doesn't really appeal to me. I enjoy space flight games, but only very particular space flight games. I'm not really a huge fan of the more full 3D axes of movement space flight, because then it just kind of gets into dogfights where everyone's trying to out-rotate each other, and that gets very, very boring. In any case, let's go to, so we actually are doing 2JSON, that's good. We're going to go to custom game session, and we're going to go down to our from and to JSON. All right, so we have rooms, variables, Yeah, this is going to actually be somewhat problematic, isn't it? No, it's fine. So this is kind of going to be weird because I have two different variable chunks that I have to save. One is the default variables, which, if we scroll all the way back up, is, or are, I guess, this list of variable data. These are all of the possible variables that exist in your game, as well as their default values. Now, contrast that with these bools, ints, floats, and strings dictionaries. These are actually, they actually also have to change. That's funny. Am I doing anything with this? You don't derive from that. Key, variable key. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I don't use this. Excuse me. like 90% sure that I do not. I do not. Okay, good. So we're gonna go up here. All right. We're gonna change these to actually ints and instead of strings. And the reason for that is the string would have been the name of the variable, and then the bool and int and float and strings would have been their values. But since we're doing a integer-based approach for IDs for these things, it makes more sense for them to be ints. And my cat wants attention. Let's see. Ah, chat exploded. But vaporware mostly isn't being worked on by 400 people. That is true, technically. Large team size not equal a game that will be shipped and everything wants to be see forever. Metal Gear Solid 5. To be fair, I think Metal Gear Solid 5 is a weird case because that's less of a case of developers being vaporware and more a case of producers being stupid, because it was Konami that mostly caused it to be a rushed mess and caused a bunch of cut content. But I mean, technically, I guess the result is the same. Star Citizen succeeds for the sake of the backers. Yeah, it's hard to say. Um, I certainly don't want to. I never wish for a game to fail, but there are definitely some problems that I can see there. Okay, so this is going to be a little annoying. var JSON. Is this loading? This is loading, isn't it? It is. Okay. So we're going to actually have to say get int value, variable key, that's fine, variable value, that's all fine. Going to do all the get int value stuff. All right, we're going to go all the way down to our to JSON. So this is this is saving it out. We're going to say int s. Oh, I guess that's all I have to do. Okay, then. Alrighty, then. There we go. Okay, so now we can actually, well, one, we'll let that compile, and two, I'm going to actually get our variables loading and saving. Yeah. Their face over IP is nice. Konami? They have a face over IP? I didn't know that. Although I remember seeing something about face over IP. I didn't read into what it was. I just saw a photo of it. Oh, Star Citizen. Oh, okay, that's what that was. That explains the weird look. Yeah, I saw a photo of that on Twitter, but I didn't know what it was, and I didn't read into it. I just briefly glanced at the image. In any case, I keep forgetting. Sorry, I'm terrible at multitasking. So we're going to do variables. We're going to call these values. Wow, I can't spell values. And then defaults. Okay. So I'm going to come up here to variables JSON. Oh boy. We're going to need another JSON array, aren't we? So JSON array, variable. I'm just going to call it var array. It's new JSON array. All right. So we're going to say for int I equals 0, I is less than variables dot count I plus plus. We're going to say var array dot add variables dot, I'm sorry, not dot of I dot to JSON. Okay, so that should actually save well, no, not yet. I lied. Hold on. Here we are. Variables JSON dot add. Oh, right. Custom content utility dot key variable. Okay, we'll do that for now. Var array. So I have to add a key for our variable. Go to definition. Public const string key underscore variables is equal to variables. We're going to come back here. There's going to be key underscore variables. Wow, really? Lowercase s? There we go. Jeez. All right. Uh, so that should save it out. Let's go ahead and add some strings and just see if that ends up looking right, or some variables of some kind. Let's go to TextQuest, custom, and then we're going to look at our Zork CTBA. All right. So let's add some variables. Why is unit testing so boring? Because you're writing code to review the code you just wrote. Although I've heard that some workflows are different. Like some people say you should write your test before you write your code, which to me is dumb, but I don't really do unit tests, so maybe I'm dumb for thinking that. The theory there, I believe, is that it means that you won't stray from what your original goal was, but then that to me sounds more like you're boxed into a specific approach, which is not a great way to do things. So we're gonna let's do string var, make that a string. We'll just have it. Let's have it be empty, and let's add a new one. We'll call this string test. It will also be a string, but this one will actually have a value. So we're gonna say test for that value. Let's add 3 more. We'll call this float var. It's going to be a float. Then int var. Then bool var. That's going to be boolean. Int. Let's have our float be 1.5, our int be 25, and our bool var. False is fine, probably. Yeah, we'll have it be true. All right, so let's go ahead and, oh, you know what? This is going to be annoying. If I just stop playing right now, it actually wouldn't work because I don't think I have anything rigged up to save. So we're going to go to the map, move this, move that. Then it should have auto-saved. Then we're going to quit out, and we're going to stop playing. Then we're going to look at our save file. Okay, so there we are. We have our different values for our variables in this array. Cat, I see you. Yes, I know you want attention, cat. All right, so we have our string var has a string value of nothing. String test has a value of test. That's good. Float var 1.5, int var 2.5, or just 25, sorry. And a bool var has a bool value of true. Okay, so next, let's go ahead and get loading to work. So we're going to come up here to variables. We're going to say JSON array var array is equal to variables JSON dot get array custom content utility dot key underscore variables. Then a new JSON array just in case. All right. Next, we're going to say for int I equals 0, I is less than var array dot length I plus plus. Also found somewhere that code review should be based on a value. What? Oh, and yes, Clairil, I have a cat. She is very spoiled, and she likes to climb onto my shoulders when I'm doing dev streams and demand my attention for some reason. All right, we're going to do var array, say variables dot add new variable data from var array dot get object at index of I. Ta-da! All right, so that should populate it. Then when we load back in and actually test out our variables in the variable menu, they should all load in just by default, so I shouldn't have to add them again. Let's see here. Do I ever clear my bools? I don't think I actually ever clear these. I don't know if that's good or bad. Oh, it's probably bad. I probably should clear these all because I'm guessing that they'll work right now just once, and then after that, never again. So that's not great. I probably should have a reset button or something. Huh. But I don't. That's kind of weird. That is actually like really, really weird. Let's see where from JSON is called. Author session. Here we are. Load game data. I guess it's fine for now, but I know at some point I'm going to have to clear everything. Oh, WTFs per minute. Okay, I get it. That makes sense. Well, that's actually a sensible measurement then. It's actually a decent metric. In any case. Yeah, no, as far as the cat goes, I actually have been meaning to get a cat sprite to pop up in my little avatar at the bottom right. It's super hard to get a cat to look right in that aesthetic because they are very angular, and square pixels do not lend themselves to angular things. All right, so we're gonna say start, extras, author mode, create, Zork, and let's go to game settings. Aha! That didn't work though. At least this didn't. Everything else did. So why did you guys not work? Let's stop playing and find out. We go to from JSON. New variable data. Go to definition. Let's go to from data or from JSON. Interesting. So, does that mean that it didn't find it? Int value and float value of 0. I'm a little concerned there. I wonder if my float and int values are actually being kind of weird. Maybe if I pass a default parameter, they actually just override that? But that'd be weird. All right, I'm going to go ahead and I'm actually going to debug.log. Oh, right. Not going to do it there, apparently. So let me go to custom game session here. And we're just going to say debug.log var array dot get object at index of I dot to formatted string. Okay, so that will debug the JSON that I'm trying to load, and I'll be able to actually look at it, make sure that it's correct, do all that fun stuff. Let's see. Let's see, angles are 90 degrees. Well, yeah, that's true. Angular things at 90 degrees. I don't really call angular things for squares, or I don't really call squares angular. They do have angles, but angular to me is more like triangles. Otherwise, I would call it boxy. Hello, Scorpio. Welcome to the Devstream. I feel that Unity has a real stigma about it nowadays. Are you going to have the splash screen removed when you're done developing this? Hard to say. By the way, is it Greyhue or Grahu? I feel like Greyhue is better, but I don't know for sure. Sorry, I'm terrible with names. Either way, welcome to the Devstream. So, am I going to have the splash removed? It's hard to say. I'm probably going to, just because, I mean, it's one less splash screen for people to sit through, but typically what people do is they'll work on the game in Unity Free as much as possible, and then when they get close to launch, they'll get a subscription to Unity Pro, and then they have all the Pro features, which is basically just splash screen stuff at this point, and then they'll remove the Unity splash screen. So I don't have anything against the Unity splash screen, especially since you can tweak it somewhat now, but it does have some problems. So we're going to change this to 1.5. We're going to change this to 25. I'm just going to save this all out, and then we're going to pop back in. Oh, right. Dang it. I have to come back here and move stuff around. So we should probably have it saved, too. Let's go ahead and come back down here. We want custom game variable view. Do I have an on edit for variable? No, not that. It's you. Go to definition. I don't have a variable deleted, but maybe I can get a variable edited. Edited. Let's see. I'm gonna drag this back over. Oh, dang it! I keep forgetting. Terrible host. How are you doing today, Scorpio? And how are you, Grey Hue? Again, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. So we're going to say custom game variable node. We might go ahead and say public event var event variable edited equals delegate. Okay, so we're going to see if this will work. Let's see, set data, refresh node. Actually, I mean, currently, I guess I'm just manipulating the actual data, but that's fine. I don't need to set the data. I just need to send out this event so that my custom game variables view, there it is, knows to call save. So on refresh node, do I want to do that? No, we'll just do it here. So variable edited this. Okay, go ahead and copy this, and we're just going to paste it everywhere. Okay, I think we're good. So let's go ahead and go to find all references here. Grab this. Let's go to on variable deleted. Private void on variable edited. Custom game. What was it? Custom game variable node. We'll just say author session dot save. Oh, not save file path. Save. No. Hold on. Do I really not have a? I thought I had a save function. Well, it's not save custom game that I want because that actually saves. Well, okay, maybe it is that then. Huh. All right, that's fine. Doing fine today. You getting everything to work today? So far, so good. We figured out the error with dropdowns, which you might not remember. There's an issue currently with dropdowns where their options are invisible for some reason, and we figured out that it has to do with dropdowns being below masks in Unity. So since I know how to reproduce it now, I can actually go to the forums and say it doesn't work, and here's how you do it, and this is the problem. So hopefully that will get resolved soon. Or that even CryEngine has learned to create a free version. You do need a license after a certain amount earned, but Unity doesn't seem to learn that something like splash screens and dark themes should be free. Well, I mean, I can understand why they would want to have their splash screen on your game. Especially if you're not paying them money. I mean, think about it like a watermark. The downside to it is, though, that it creates this really weird, almost reverse psychological effect where people don't see Unity as a good engine because people who are using Unity to make a really quick and dirty, terrible game have to use the splash screen. They have to show the Unity splash screen, and that causes problems. So you get a really bad name because people keep seeing your logo on really terrible games. Oh, no, that is true. Jim Sterling did talk about that. And yeah, it's just one of those things where it hurts the engine in terms of reputation, but it doesn't really hurt it in terms of money coming in, which is rather infuriating, actually. Because you do get a lot of people who are like, what engine are you making this in? You say Unity, they're like, oh, Unity. It's like, come on, man. It's not that bad. It's no different. I mean, it is different from Unreal, but it's not different in terms of standing. People just assume that it's worse because of all of the games that have been made with it that are terrible. There have been a lot of games that were made with Unreal that were bad, and CryEngine. Anyway, sorry, a little bit of a rant. So on variable edited, that's going to call save game. On variable deleted, that will also need to call save. So we're going to say author session dot save custom game. And I'm just going to. Is that really right? I guess it is. It's just 2JSON.2 formatted string. All right. Let's see. I probably should have one for on variable created as well. So let's go ahead and generate nodes. We want to do on new variable clicked. Same thing. Okay. So now it should actually save all of our variables as we create, modify, and delete them. Oh boy. Oh my goodness, that's not good. I have a lot of duplicates. Interesting. Could that be because I need to save this? Okay. Yep. I did a stupid thing. I forgot to include my ID. Whoops. Okay. It's a big definition here. Yep. Completely forgot. I'm going to say public const string var underscore ID is equal to ID. Save that. Come up here, paste this. Var underscore ID. I'm going to say ID is equal to get int value. Okay. And 2JSON, I need to do that as well. Var underscore ID. And then ID. Okay. Let's see here. We are also going to go ahead and say, it's probably fine. Well, we're still going to go to custom game session, and in the from JSON, or you know what? Nah, we can do it in 2JSON. That'll work as well. I guess I should probably do it in both just to be safe. I'm going to say if. Oh, dang it! That makes things way more complicated. I lied. I'm just going to do it in load. Sorry, got a cat climbing down on my shirt. Let's see. I assume it's worse because the incredible amount of problems I've had with Unity, a lot of random crashes. Want to debug code. Well, it's definitely a higher level programming situation. Like you're not using C++ obviously in Unity, you're using C# and JavaScript. Although Unity is apparently making attempts to get some sort of C++ C# integration weird thing going, which could be pretty cool. So you're going to get higher level stuff, which means that if you want to do lower level things like debugging, which I mean you can do debugging in Unity, it's a really nasty setup and it's not as easy as it should be. Yeah, it definitely does have its problems. I'm not going to lie. But I don't think it deserves the stigma that it has. In any case, so var array, here we are. So before we actually add variables, we're going to have to do this. This is really terrible. I don't like doing it this way, but it will. Excuse me. It will work. So we're going to say if. Okay, hold on. Get variable. Huh. Well, that's interesting. Why is that lowercase? What? Oh, it's just saying that it's not going to rename you. That's fine. All right. Really though. So let me check something out here. Variables view. No. Author session. I'm not doing anything special here. I thought I had a get variable based on an ID, but maybe I don't. Huh. Okay. That is somewhat annoying. Let me check something. So we're gonna say, we'll just say if true for now. We're gonna say variables dot add data. All right. So let's look for variable data. Huh, I don't have a get variables function. Weird. Well, I'm going to do that then. So I'm going to scroll all the way up here. Let's see. Start custom game. And it should be above those. Here we are. So we're going to say public variable data get variable based off of an int ID. We're just going to say for int I equals 0, I is less than variables dot count I plus plus. If variables of I dot ID is equal to ID, return variables of I. Else we are going to just return null. Okay. Scroll all the way down here. Oops, nope, a little bit further. Here we are. So we're going to say if get variable of data.id is equal to null, then we are going to add a variable. Because you can't have two variables with the same ID. That ID is supposed to be unique across all variables. I use both, and as you expect, each has its strengths and weaknesses, but I'd say the better you are as a dev, the more time you have to dev, the more Unreal starts to bloom. Unity is great if you're strapped for time and you don't mind bending a bit to do things its way. No, I definitely think that's actually a pretty good way of stating it. Unreal in general is better at, for lack of a better term, triple A processes. So it's very easy and straightforward to get things looking very, very good in Unreal. But Unity, in theory, can get to the same level of fidelity, but it takes a lot more effort, and it's not really built for that. It is definitely geared much more towards smaller projects. I don't want to say graphically inferior or anything like that, but usually less intensive projects. And certainly, I think that Unity's 2D system is way better than Unreal's 2D system, the paper 2D thing or whatever they call it. Let's go to extras, author mode. Create Zork. Okay. So we're going to have to actually... Yep, that's what I was expecting. Well, actually, I didn't expect that to happen, but I was going to say we're going to have to delete these anyway. So we're going to go ahead and make a couple of new variables. So we're going to call this string var. Can I do spaces? No, that's fine, though. It's just going to be a string that's empty. And then we're going to do a string test. That's going to be a string with test value in there. Float, int, and bool. So bool var, int var, float var. Yeah, this is what I was talking about with the invisible options. But now we know how to fix that. Well, we don't know how to fix it, but we know what's causing it, so that makes it easier for me. So 1.5 and then 25 should be fine. All right, so now all of this has correct values. It should be saved, although we can actually check that just by clicking on this. So string var test. That's interesting. These things aren't changing their... They think they're strings. That's interesting. Why? Let's go back here. Do I need to, like... So if I do that now, will it be correct? No. Huh. Okay. I'm guessing that I didn't assign event listeners. That's what it is. That's what it is. Me being stupid. We're gonna come over here to the view. Yep, there we go. That's what it is. All right. So there's gonna be variable edited. on variable edited. Let's see. And on variable edited. Okay, let's see where else we're doing this. On variable edited. And variable edited. Okay, where else? Variable edited on variable edited. All right. I think that's it. So we should always see it in pairs now. Yep. Okay, let's try that. I think that will fix our problem. Business-wise, I think Unity is probably winning because it's better, easier for mobile than Unreal. That's definitely true. Although Unreal does have really, really cool mobile stuff that it can do. I mean, some of my favorite games are actually Unreal games, but it also, I would assume, is a lot more intensive to try and get Unreal to work on mobile platforms. Mobile is sadly a bigger market. End rant. Well, you don't have to worry about that. You're among friends, I assume. Not that I hate the mobile market or anything like that, but I do feel like the mobile market could be better. All right, we're gonna go to game settings. Yes, this is right. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're gonna call this one float var. And let's go ahead and make you a float. Make you an int 1.5 and 25. Then a bool. Set you to true, and we're gonna call you bool var. All right. So now if I come back here, it should all be edited. So float var, int var, and bool var. Okay, everything looks correct. Let's go ahead and stop playing. Let's see, is there anything wrong overtly? They all have unique IDs. They're all set up to be the correct values, I believe. Everything seems right. Let's go back to variable data real quick and make sure that this is all correct. So get bool, get int, get float, and get string. All right, looking good. Now we just have to wait for Unity to stop playing. Which one day will happen. I really wish that I knew why it did this. Drives me nuts. Okay, let's clear that. And let's go ahead and play again. Make sure that that all loads in correctly. By the way, Greyhue, are you a developer? I forgot to ask that. I'm also not sure if I asked you, Claril. Are you a developer? I don't remember if I asked you that or not. If I did, sorry. Apparently I've forgotten. But I always like to ask people if they develop for hobby or for fun, or I assume most people who watch me are developers. Just because I'm not that entertaining, so I assume I'm only interesting somewhat to other developers. Okay, so our float and int values are weird here. That kind of makes me think that float value of 0. That makes me think they're not getting parsed correctly. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at our JSON parser. This will hopefully not be an insane thing for us to debug. So, let's see. We're going to go to... We want to... See, this is escaping everything. Okay, content. Here we are. So strings, we want potentially arrays. Huh. Do I seriously just like not parse ints and floats? That doesn't make sense. That seems like it would be a glaring omission. Actually, no, we know that that doesn't work because the IDs would be messed up if that were the case. Well, that's just great. Huh. Okay. Weird. I wonder if it has to do with them being at the end? Huh. Okay. Let's look for. We might take a look at JSON object parsing for this, which is actually just going to loop us back around. So great. Not great. Not great. JSON objects. Otherwise, we're just going to go until we hit a comma. Okay, so I think what I want to do is say, wow, that is super weird. I only look for objects, arrays, and strings. Why am I not handling integers and bools? That is super weird. All right, we're going to say else if. So we're going to do a little bit of JSON editing today. Hooray! I'm deeply sorry about this. All right, we're going to say JSON string of I is equal to not open brace. And actually, we're not going to do that. We're going to say char dot is number JSON string of I, or JSON string of I is equal to the negative symbol. If that's the case, then we're doing a number. Okay. And then we need to actually parse this. Oh, you know what? Yeah, so this is the problem. I assumed that if it wasn't a string or a object or an array, that I could just go until I hit a comma. So I was correct in saying that it's because these guys don't have a comma after them that it's broken. So yeah, that gets somewhat annoying. But in that case, we're just going to say, we're just going to change this actually. Or JSON value, sorry, JSON file open array or close brace. Okay. We will also go ahead and duplicate this one more time and say JSON underscore file close brace. I'm sorry, close array. So that might fix it. So we're going to go ahead and let that compile. We're going to come back over here and we're going to change this to say, so int it was 25, float was 1.5, and then we're just going to save that. And it should load in correctly, if I was right, if those changes I made did not end up destroying my parser. That's true. I guess I do have some people who watch that aren't devs. I just assume that 9 times out of 10, the only reason people stick around is because they're other devs and they want someone to listen to while they work on their own game. Let's go to extras, author mode, create, Zork. Crap. Yep, I was worried about that. Okay. Dang it. Well, fully. Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said or. I should have said and. Duh. That's why. I think that'll help. Although we do have to wait our prerequisite 10,000 years for it to stop playing. Let's go ahead and clear that out. That's not great. Ugh. Okay. Is this borked? It's not. That's good. come back here. Let's try that again. Watching other people work motivates me to work on my game sometimes, but I do work a lot when I focus on my engine. Yeah. I mean, I think it's more of a white noise type thing. You have someone who's doing something roughly similar to what you're doing. I mean, even if it's something completely different, you're using similar methods. Well, maybe not even that. You're both doing the same thing in the sense that you're working on a game. Okay, so that loaded. Yay! It all worked. It was all beautiful. And it looks like that did fix my problem. Okay. Well, that's good. Do all my rooms still look correct? I guess the fastest way to know would be to go back and just look at them. Yes, they do. Hooray! Wonder if I should display... I wonder if I should have a warning for when a variable is set up but not used. Might be useful. In any case, let's go back to our game settings. I also wonder if I should have like a sort button to sort these alphabetically or by type. It seems like that might be useful. So, yeah, we can do that. I'm also going to do a little bit of UI work. I need to say, I want to have labels up above each one that tells you what these fields are. So name, type, then value. Let's go ahead and stop playing since I have an eternity anyway. So the very most left, wow, I can't talk. The leftmost column is going to be our name column. That's just going to have a label that says name. Then we're going to have a center one that says type, then value. And then we will also, I guess, have buttons somewhere, probably at the bottom. It says like sort. Maybe I'll just have one sort button, and then that can toggle between alphabetical and by type alphabetically. That seems like it might be a good idea. I also could color code these, I suppose. Or maybe with an icon of some kind. But that's honestly just kind of polish at that point. So I'm not going to worry about it too much. So let's go ahead and let's open up our UI. Let's go to our content. And I need my prefab, actually. Oh, dear. Variable node, we're going to put that in there. Okay, so let's move our content. We're going to hit F here. Actually, we're not going to move our content. We're going to move our scroll view from the top by 50. Seems right. That's not bad. Let's go ahead and have a object here. Line to the top. Anchor to the top. Height of 50 is probably fine. And we're just going to say labels, I guess. Or how about field labels? Ta-da. Sort by drop-down? Oh, do you mean have a drop-down option and then like a sort button? Or I guess I could just do it based on the drop-down whenever it's changed. That probably wouldn't really matter. Yeah, it's not terrible. Okay, yeah, I can do that then. Let's go ahead and let's add our labels. Do I want to make this an array? No, I'll just make it I'll manually position them. That's fine. Okay, we're going to make this 8-bit font. We're going to have it stretch, and let's see, what are my positions here? I guess I can just eyeball it. So we're going to say name label. All right, so we're going to say name. Have it be centered vertically. I guess it probably should be centered horizontally as well. We're going to have an anchor of 0.4, 3.5. Yeah, that seems more appropriate. Let's duplicate you. Oh, of course you're on. Wondering about that. All right, single these out, and we're going to say 0.35 to 0.6. No, not even that. 5. That looks about right. Type. And we'll rename this to type label. Go ahead and duplicate that. And once again, single these out. 0.55 to 1. All right, and this is going to be value. Except actually, this shouldn't be to 1. It should probably be something like 0.9. There we go. Because you don't want it to be centered offset to the or with the delete button included. It should be sort of centered on the field itself. Okay, so we're going to call this one value label. And after that, we don't really care about it. I think we're good. We will probably set this to be, I'm guessing, 55 from the top. That seems a little bit better. All right. So name, type, and value. What else do I want to do here? Oh, probably I should get rid of my variable node here. Don't need you in there. Sort field now. All right. I think we can do that. I think we can work that in. So let's sort by, what are the types we want to sort by? By variable name, by type, which would still be alphabetical by type, in the sense that it would isolate them all to their separate type groups, and then it would further subdivide them and organize them by alphabet. And then I guess that's all I can really think of. I would do some sort of like date of creation, but that doesn't really work. Although, let me double check how I'm doing the how I'm assigning new IDs. Custom game author session, generate variable ID. Okay, new ID is equal to variables ID plus 1. Okay, right. So I'm using the same sort of like reusable ID system that I'm using for room IDs. And what that means is that every time you add a variable, when you generate a new variable ID, which is the unique integer identifier for that variable, it actually loops through all the ones that exist and checks to see if there's any gaps. So if you create 3, you're gonna if you create 3 variables, their IDs are going to be 10, 11, and 12. If you delete the middle one, you'll have 10 and 12. And then when you create a new variable, even though it's created after 12, it will use 11 as its ID because 11 is now open. So I can't just sort them by the integer value. I mean, I don't have to do it that way. I could just constantly say just whatever the max is plus 1. But I feel like reusing IDs is a more sensible solution. That'll help keep your ID size down. If you're not careful, in theory, you could create 1,000 IDs, then delete all of them, and then create 1,000 more, and you'd be up to 2,000 already. I prefer not to do it that way. So I guess just alphabetical and alphabetical by type is what you're going to get. Yeah, can't really think of what else to do. Especially since ID is hidden, so it doesn't make sense to have a sortable by ID. So, okay. Let's go ahead and we're going to pop back down here. From the bottom, we'll have 55 as well, I suppose. And we're going to have a new object set to the bottom. 0, position of 0, and a height of 50. We're going to call this sorting. Okay, we're going to start with a label. Then we will have a drop down. No, not an input field. UI, text, and then UI, drop down. Okay, so we're going to change you to 8-bit font, have you stretch, and we're going to clamp it to, I don't know, 0.3, I'm guessing. It's probably fine. Let's do sorting, colon, have it aligned all the way to the right, have it aligned center vertically. 0.25 might be fine. Man, I really don't like having that white space there. So I guess we will just align it left. It's not great. We'll align it center, I suppose. That's fine. Okay, we're gonna call this label. We have our drop down. We're gonna stretch it from 0.25 over. That's probably fine. From the top 10, from the bottom 10, maybe 5 and 5. There we go. Dang it! Did I make it? I made it a freaking basic drop down. Of course I did. UI text mesh pro drop down. There we go. And we're gonna do the same thing. So stretch from 0.25, and from the top we'll say 5, and from the bottom we'll say 5. That all looks good. Let's open up our label. Make this white. Change our font. Change our background as well. So change it from UI sprite to solid. We're gonna make it 0.2. No navigation. Black by default. Medium gray. Dark gray. Everything else seems fine. Okay. So we're gonna have two options. Alphabetical and by type. Okay. Template. Change our item label. Oh, sorry, not the text, just its font. 8-bit font. Make it probably white. Let's change our item background. Do we care about that? Not really. Item content viewport. Nope, that's fine. Change you to solid. I think that's pretty much good. Yeah, I was not super enthusiastic about that, but that's fine. I'm a little worried about having this sorting list be on the bottom like that, but maybe it's fine. All right, we're going to change our label also to be 18. No, we can go bigger than that. Let's see, from the top, 0, 0. So let's say 24. Yeah, it seems fine. All right. We might need another image just to overlay this one. So we're going to go ahead and create a UI image, stretch, pivot at 0.25. And I think that's good. So we're going to call this drop down background. I'm going to move drop down below it, have it stretch the entirety of it, and then 5 by 5 by 5 by 5. There we go. All right, I think that's good. I mean, this is obviously kind of hideous, so not worried about it too. I'm not worried about aesthetics too much right now. I'm just gonna try to get it to be functional, and then we'll figure out how to make it look nice later. So we're gonna call this sort or sorting drop down. All right, and we have alphabetical and type, and that's it. That's all we need. Okay. So let's come up here to custom game variables view. Here we are. Go up here, and we're gonna add a public. Oh wow, I'm not using TM Pro here. We're gonna say using TM Pro. So TM Pro underscore dropdown. Oh, really? Okay, TMP dropdown. There it is. Sorting drop down. All right. We're gonna come down here to on new variable on back clicked. We're gonna say private void on sorting changed int value switch value case 0 break, then say case 1 break. So, oh boy, this is where it's going to get fun. Author session dots. I don't have a sort functionality. Brah. Okay, so we're going to say author session dot variables dot sort, and this is where it's going to be fun. So we're going to say a comma b. Let me see if I can remember how to do a lambda expression without looking at what I've already done. I'm going to say a dot name dot compare to b dot name. I think this is what I need. I feel like that's not correct though. I feel like I have to say something like return. Something like this. Oh, I'm sorry, I did that wrong. I think that's what I have to do. Let's let that compile. See if I get any errors from it. Otherwise, I'm just going to do this. Okay. Fully. This is not going to be great. So first we have to sort by type, and then we would have to sort alphabetically by type. We might just do by type. Is that a string? No, but that might not matter. Okay. I think we can just do that. So let's... Oh, you know what I almost forgot to do? Good God, it's still... Oh, wait, no. Sorry, I thought I was playing for a second. I'm like, man, it's taking forever to stop playing. Okay, so we're going to say... What did I call it? Sorting dropdown. Except I can't spell dropdown. Dot on value changed. Dot add listener. On sorting changed. Okay. I think that we're good. So let's let that go. So I'm going to assign my sorting dropdown reference, and then we're probably good to go. Also, you know what I completely forgot to do again is turn on my stream stuff. Because I am a fool. All right, that's done compiling. Let's go ahead and hit apply and test this out. Okay. See what happens. Get a quick drink. Start, extras, author mode, create, Zork. That was weird. Okay. Oh, right, I forgot to change the background. That's fine. You did... Oh, crud. Let's go back. Then game settings. I guess they're already sorted by type. Let's add a new one real quick and make it a string, and that's all fine. So let's go alphabetical, then back, then the game settings, and... Okay, so that is correct. So alphabetical works. Now what about type? String, 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 float, integer, and boolean. Hooray! So that all works. I just need to make sure that it actually regenerates them when you change the sorting method. So I think we're going to say, after that, refresh. Oh, no. Not, I thought I had a reset. Maybe I just have recycle. So generate nodes, I guess, is what I want to call. Okay. Okay. So now we should be able to actually just dynamically change that dropdown. Well, not dynamically change the dropdown. Select from the dropdown and have it dynamically sort. Let's hit play. Yeah, I understand not wanting to work on specific things. I tend to work very slowly on things that I don't particularly enjoy working on. Let's go to extras, then author mode, create, Zork, game settings. Oh, right. That's kind of funny. So sorting them does not actually save after it sorts. I probably should save. So let's go to type versus alphabetical. Cool. Versus. Let's actually also add. Let's rename this to like a bar. Type alphabetical. There we go. Sorry, it was just a little concerning that all of the string variables were coming after all of the bool, float, and int values. So like everything could have also been weirdly done by type, and I didn't want to do that. So I wanted to just ensure that it was actually the name being used. Working slowly on unit testing, but I want it to be done quickly. Yeah, that's just how it goes. Okay, so sorting works. Let's add a couple more. Yeah, so that's not. Oh, that is really not great. It's a little. I mean, I can scroll, I guess, by mouse, but you can't click and drag very easily. Thank you, Alex Craven. Hello, Alex Craven. Welcome to the Devstream. We are currently working on custom content creation, specifically setting up variables for your own custom games. All right, so, oops, I not clicked on it. There we go. It's just a very, very tiny scroll area. I'm going to add a couple more variables so we can scroll more. Then we're going to delete a bunch of empty ones. Ooh, ugh. Okay, that was weird. Sorry, for some reason it was like half scrolled for one of them for a little bit, and then it snapped back. Okay, so sorting works. We need to clean it up a little bit, I think. And you have to toggle these if you want it to sort after you add one, which makes sense, but I don't know if I should have just a sort button, maybe? Because you can't, like, I can't sort by, well, maybe I could. Hold on, I'm going to add a, that's interesting. All the strings are up top, but I thought bool would be, oh no, that's right, it's alpha, yeah, okay, that's good. I'm going to add a new variable, so we have string, and if I click on type again, it's not actually going to sort it. So I can't really, there's not a good way to resort everything using the same method that you already have selected right now. You have to toggle to the opposite method and then toggle back, which is a little annoying. Well, it's not that I get paid, so I can be a little slower. That's true. A text-based game with, or a text-based game with UI. Yes, there is a lot of UI in this game actually, but it's a first-person text-based adventure. Although the custom games right now are just classic text-based stuff. So this is more for your own convenience when you're making custom games. So let's go ahead and go back. So currently we have sort of like 40-50% of the custom game stuff done. So we can go, I think, north here. We have some terrifying imagery that shows up whenever you transition, of course. We can go back south, and I think we can go, was it south here? Yep, okay. South takes us over to the den here, and then that's the end of the game. So we actually have our custom game support roughly set up. It's just not really fleshed out right now. But that's what we're doing on Saturdays. So Doesn't the UI defeat the purpose of the text game? Well, I mean, there's a certain amount of UI that you're going to have anyway. Because again, if oops, wrong thing. Sorry. So this is what you will see when you play a custom text-based game. It's just like the original Zork. The only difference is that I do have some support for things like backgrounds if you want to have backgrounds, or ambience if you want to have sound, but nothing beyond that really for just classic text-based games. I'm also planning on getting support for graphical adventures like the original King's Quest. And those are the things that I want to launch with support for custom games. But I'm not going to be able to do like a full 3D editor for the base game itself, because the base Text Quest game is actually 3D. It's not text. I mean, it is text, but it's also 3D. But yeah, I mean, there's always going to be UI in text games, even if it's just for inputting the commands that you want to type. You cannot get use Flask. That is a thing that is in the game. I am obligated as a text-based adventure creator to put that in my game. All right, so we have all of our. That's true. I can show you the game real quick. Wow, that worked out great. I forgot that I just come back to this. Let's go ahead and we'll pop into a new game real quick. I guess this is actually good because I haven't tested coming back from the custom games before. So my name is Chris. Yes, we'll do normal mode. I am right-handed. Favorite color is green, and of course I am a hero. This might also let you see the fancy blue shadows, presumably. Although we are getting a little bit of a lag spike for some reason. That's not great. Ah, I knew it. I forgot the sound isn't back on. Okay. So we don't currently fade the sound for non-custom games back in when you come back. So there's no audio right now. But that will be fixed once we stop playing. So this is the base game of Text Quest. Everything is a... everything is... oh, dang it. Sorry. I got mixed up here. Everything in the world is made up of text. So walls say the word wall, tiles say tile, and crest says crest. Armor says armor. All that stuff. And then you actually interact with everything and... Oh. Ooh, that's not great too. Okay, so we have a lot of problems coming back from the custom game stuff. This is the wrong input menu. I don't even know if this will work actually. Yep, it won't. Okay. So that's great. We can fix those things real quick. I know exactly what happened, or what happens there. Let's go to menu items. Is that what I called it? No, not that. What did I call it? Menu something. Pretty sure I called it menu something. Menu controls, that seems right. There we go, yeah. Alright, we're going to say open, pause view, open inventory. Right, okay, so we're going to have to say type of input view. We're just going to paste that in there. So the problem was I wasn't getting specifics. I was getting just any input view. Oh, I guess that is fine. Do I not really have a specific for that? That might be okay then. Sorry, we're doing a minor bit of fixing real quick. Pause. Do all this fun stuff. Okay. I don't think that's going to fix it all, but so you type in the UI. I was going to make a command line text-based game. Cool. I love demos. Oh yes, and of course, if you're curious about the game itself and you want to test it, there is a demo up on the website, which is linked below the video. Just do acapella sound effects. Yeah, I've actually thought about doing that as a April Fool's Day joke, but I don't want to put the effort in right now. So it will probably be in there at some point, but not right now. Um, can words hurt you in the game? I mean, technically, yes, because combat is a thing, but uh, that's actually a really funny tagline. Forget everything you've learned about sticks and stones. All right, we're gonna go to, so not close. We're gonna have to say get, then dot close. Get dot open. Okay, simple as that. I think that's all I really need to see. No, I guess we'll do this. So anywhere where I'm doing get in input view, I need to make sure that it is the correct input view. Okay, I think that will fix it. Let's go ahead and save that. We will also, while we're at it, oh, I guess apparently get rid of system.collections, but also, I think it might be under custom, no, it's classic create select view, I think is what I want. No, that is not the one I want. Classic create view? Nope. All right, let's go to find all references. Classic mode view, that's what it is. Here we are. On create, maybe under unopen. Oh, well, there it is. Weird. Huh. Go to definition here. Cached master volume. Main mixer, get float, main volume param, main volume param. So I'm just going to go ahead and debug these two things real quick. So I'm going to say debug.log, cached master volume. Sorry, I'm currently setting up a thing to just check what my values are for our audio when we fade back to the way we handle audio is we just fade out all of the regular game audio, and then we have a custom audio mixer that's playing custom game audio sounds. That way we don't have interactions between the two. But it looks like we don't actually fade the original game's volume back up when we come back from custom games. So this will tell me what it is. Let's see. Right, so it's a 3D game, but everything has the associated word on it, such as wall, etc. And interest, or that interact with the words with text commands such as take, etc. Thought you meant a terminal command console type of game. I mean, it pretty much is in all things. Well, all things considered, it's just not literally a console-based game. Like, it's not in the command line. Mostly because that would be a very, very tiny audience that would want to play it. Although that type of game would be fun to make, I guess. At least for a little while. It would probably be more tedious than anything else. Well, I guess I shouldn't say tedious. It would be more tedious to make, but not tedious itself. So start. We're going to go to extras. Okay, so listen for the fade out. Quit. So we don't fade back is the problem. No, we do. Interesting. Oh, wait, I wonder. Uh-oh. Oh, right. Classic mode doesn't do anything. Hold on. Okay. Weird. I don't know why the audio didn't fade in then. Because here it shows that it should. Weird. Okay. Huh. Well, in any case, at the very least, I guess we can go ahead and try our author mode stuff. So I'm going to try playing a quick game here. Then I'm going to quit. And then I'm going to go back to the main game. And we're going to... Wait. There it is. So it doesn't fade in if we go all the way to the other side. It's very weird. I wonder why we would do that. All right. Let's try a new game real quick. At the very least, we can test our input menu. So if I try to interact with something... Really? It didn't work, huh? Ah, come on. Seriously? Huh. All right, then. One more thing to fix. Let's see. Global interactions. Interaction. Sorry, I kind of went off on a little tangent here to fix this little issue, but it's very important that I do so. Let's see. HUD view, HUD view, HUD view. But I will get the inner retro gamers as if it was command console. That's true. That's true. It would certainly feel more retro if I did it that way. But that's why I actually stylize a lot of my UI to look like command line, because I do want to have that feeling. But it's hard to just put it in there like that. Type of input view. Copy this. And I think that's it. Okay. So now it should correctly give me the input menu that I want. But we can also go down to classic mode view, and we can figure out why our fade audio coroutine is not happening. So stop all coroutines, then start coroutine, fade audio coroutine. Huh. It's very strange. It's just very, very strange indeed. Because it should force it back up, but it doesn't seem to. It's interesting. Alright, we'll probably swap back to the actual custom game stuff soon. Sorry, I tend to get a little distracted for things that they're not really end of the world bugs, but they're things that it's like, oh no, this is really bad. I need to fix this right away. Let's go to extras, author mode, create, Zork. I think we can just test from here. So let's go ahead and say quit. Yes. Okay, and we can go back. So it doesn't fade up after we've gone in. That's interesting. We can go back. We'll just hit continue. Okay. Continue right here. Hooray! So this is the actual input views that we can do. Okay. I think I got everything. All right. Let's go ahead and let's try to do the reverse. I'm going to quit out here. And then I'm going to go back to our extras. So author mode. Interesting. There it is. So it fades back in. So you can hear it now. That's so weird. Why would that be the case? Huh. That is really strange. Nice, Jelmega. Getting some valuable feedback from your unit testing on how to, or I guess not really feedback, just reassurance. No need to apologize for development. Yeah, but I still feel bad. I always feel bad whenever I do something that I think is boring for people to watch, but is technically important for the game. It's like, well, I have to do it, but I do feel bad for making people watch me do it. In any case, it's weird that if we go all the way, or no, if we go into author mode and then immediately back out, the audio fades back in. Sorry, I wanted to make sure that I was correct. But it doesn't do that if we go all the way in and test a custom game, then come back. That's really weird to me. Um, hmm. Hmm. Well, in any case, let's go back to author mode, create, Zork. So all of our variables are, what the heck? Oh, right, it's just by type currently. That's fine. Although I do need to get it to sort by type, then by alphabetical order, um, which I don't remember how to. There's a way to do that. I just don't remember what it is. Um, it might not matter really because if you sort by alphabetical, then you sort by type. They will be in alphabetical order when they're sorted by type. I lied apparently because these guys are not. So, fine. But maybe I can make them do that. So let's go back from interaction. We're going to go to, where are you? Probably close a couple of things that I don't need. Here we are. We're going to go ahead and sort them by alphabet first and then sort them by type. And I think that will do what I want. Watch 2 engine programming streams, so you think this can be boring. Does that mean that I'm more boring than engine programming streams, or they're more boring than me? Because honestly, I could see it going either way. Although I assume if you're watching an engine programming stream, then you're really interested in engine building, in which case I would think that would mean that I'm more boring than them. Compile Unity. I compel you. Shazam. There we go. Okay, I'm going to double click on this so I can get rid of this debug because we don't need it anymore. I'm just going to shorten this down to 1 line. Ta-da! All right, and I think that's all we really care about for now. So let's go ahead and clear everything else out. I'm really curious about the volume, though. That is really weird. No, you think it's boring, but engine programmer streams sometimes are even more boring. Oh. Well, when I say boring, I don't necessarily mean that it's actually boring, although I usually do. It's more of I try to stream things that I think are interesting for people to watch. And I feel like whenever I deviate from that and start doing something that is not interesting to watch, but is necessary for the game, I feel terrible with it because I feel like it's something that no one wants to watch. Which is typically why I don't like to do art on the stream anymore because it's kind of a tedious process. It's not terrible, but it's not as interesting to look at because it's kind of slow. It's me doing a bunch of stuff that unless you're a modeler or a texture artist, you don't really care about. So I try to steer away from it whenever possible, unless it's something quick. All right, we're gonna go to game settings. All right, so we're gonna go to type, which did not do what I wanted. Alphabetical, then by type. Seriously? I. It's weird because you would think that it would sort everything alphabetically by name, then we would be able to sort by type, and everything should be pretty much correct, but I don't think that that's the case. It's even worse because Avar gets put like in the middle, which is just super awkward. I have no idea why it's like that. So it probably means that I just need to sort my. See, no, that's what's weird is I don't. Huh. That is just super awkward. I need to fix that. That's really annoying. Chris, you need a Facebook page for your game. I don't like Facebook. I do probably need to have a Facebook page for the game. I really don't like Facebook. That's a shortcoming of my own. I understand, but it is something that I just really don't like Facebook. Um, it's all interesting though. Well, you say that, and I try to make it so, but I know that there are definitely some boring parts to game development that aren't particularly interesting to everyone. Certainly, some people will think that most things are cool, um, but there are always going to be parts that I don't think everyone enjoys. Almost forgot to put on my background music. Ah, I'm hurt. I thought I was your background music. I'm just kidding. I would not make a great background musician. At least not to listen to while you're trying to be productive. In any case, so yeah, let's go ahead and stop playing. Let's pop back over here. You run it for me. It's not. It's not even that. It's just. I know I need to have more of a social media presence, and I probably at some point I will sit down and actually decide how I want my social media presence to function. Because I have the Twitter accounts that I use, and I'm honestly terrible at using the Twitter accounts that are not my personal account. Um, but I feel like I should have a unified Facebook, Twitter, I don't know, Google Plus maybe. I really don't know about Instagram. Um, and then some other miscellaneous sites that I should look into. It's just I don't know. Social media is definitely one of the things that I'm not very good at. Uh, Screw those people who don't find it interesting. Well, I still try to make it interesting for people who aren't particularly interested in something, which is why I tend to explain everything that I'm doing, even if I've already explained that sort of thing before. Um, the best of epic music. Well, we'll see what tomorrow ends up looking like for me because I might start doing Sunday art streams, and that's going to be a less interactive, although I'll still probably react to people in the chat, but more just me putting on some music and me doing art in the background, or well, in the foreground with music in the background. Um, so less of this more code heavy, art heavy stream. Well, it will be art heavy, but less of this code heavy stream style. In any case, sorry, I again I'm terrible at talking and coding at the same time because I tend to like look over to my left at the chat as if I'm talking to you guys directly. All right. Let's get rid of. We'll probably keep you in there just for now. So to sort things, we're gonna want to go to custom. Get rid of you. Actually, don't need you. Don't need you menu controls either. Here we are. So this won't work, but can I do like a double sort of kinds? So I'm sorting currently by name, then by type. Um, which is still odd because I feel like it should be correct that way because it should sort everything by alphabet and then by whatever. That's if I did it in no, if I did it in reverse, that wouldn't make any difference, right? Like surely not. No, that's definitely not going to work. But I will still do it because I'm desperate, and I can't really think of how else I would want to try and sort this, short of some really annoying compare to, like stacking. Got to capture the Google Plus market. All four of them. Yeah, that's true. Certainly is nowhere near as prevalent. I actually kind of always laugh whenever I accidentally go to my Google Plus page because it's like, oh yeah, that was a thing, and they just failed to pivot it. Like it was for a while, it was supposed to be the competitor to Facebook, and then it became a weird businessy thing, kind of, but not really. And now it's just nothing. No one cares about it. It's garbage. It still exists, but I have no idea why. Um, Author mode, create, Zork, game settings. Okay, so let's go to type. Yeah, see that's what I expected. It's basically alphabetical now. That's still so frustrating though. Um, Geez, what else could I do? Like Short of subdividing it into different lists, then adding them all together again, I really don't know what I could do here. Wow, I really don't want to do that, but I might have to. I guess I'll just do that to see if it even works. So we're going to sort by name first. Then we're going to subdivide it into lists, and then we'll add them all up, basically. So we're going to say list variable data strings is equal to new list variable data. Paste, paste, paste. Floats, ints, bools. I guess I should actually call it like string vars, because I already have some things called ints, floats, bools, and such. Okay, so we're just going to say for int I equals 0, I is less than author session dot variables dot count I plus plus. Ah, crud. This won't work because variables is not a get set. It's just a getter. Ah, dang it. Great. Just great. Well, that's probably fine. I really shouldn't be initializing new freaking lists every time I need to do this anyway. Compound comparisons, huh? Google Plus garbage. Did you ever take a good look at Facebook? Oh, I'm not saying that Facebook isn't garbage. I'm just saying that Facebook was already entrenched by the time Google Plus came in. And there was no way that Google Plus was going to just topple Facebook. Facebook is now there forever. I doubt Facebook will ever be toppled until, I don't know, the business burns to the ground or all of its users die somehow. Outside of those two factors, I really don't see how it will ever be bested by something else. So we can sort by name, then by that won't work. We sort by type. Nope, can't do it that way. So this returns an int value. I wonder. Hold on, let me check something real quick. Let's see. Like, I'm not sure if I can do multiple sort parameters in a sort method, because most of the examples that they give you for things like sorting lists, they're just like one single type. So it's names or int values or float values, and it would be nice if I could sort by name and type, which maybe this will do so. Hold on. Sort. Sorry, I'm currently looking over an example on MSDN real quick. Let's see. I noticed that a lot more people have started to dislike Facebook these days. Well, it's probably because they change their interface so often, and yeah, I mean, I guess I could just do this whole thing. Not great. Not great. Trying to think about how I could do this with both name and type. Because the expected values are basically 0 if it's the same, 1 if it should go before it, I think, and -1 if it should come after it. Or maybe those are switched, I don't remember exactly. So this is kind of annoying. Let's see. You should also get Steam trading cards for your game. Yeah, I was planning on doing all the Steam stuff. So trading cards, achievements, mostly because I actually find those fun, especially if you have a fun time when you're making them. Speaking of trading cards, some time ago, I got a random booster pack. Seems they are randomly given out when somebody crafts a Steam badge. Really? That's weird. Yes, the Steam trading card economy is whack. I would definitely agree with that. It's certainly more convoluted than you would think. Okay, so a.name.compare to b.name. It's really, really, really annoying because I don't know how to subdivide it. Ugh. I guess I could just make it a public getter setter. There's no real need for it to be that though, besides this one very specific case. Ugh. Okay. Here, let's go to custom author session. Let's see. Void. Okay. I'm going to add a function here. Connection, get connection, remove, add, remove. Ah, phooey. I do have a get variable, but it's in our author session. That's interesting. I see, I was gonna say, I thought I remember coding it. So I guess we can get rid of you then. And instead, we can simply say public void sort variables alphabetically. And we'll say by name. By name, public void sort variables by type. Okay, we're just going to do that. Then it's super easy. I mean, it still is gross because we have to do that sort of breaking apart and then reassembling that I was talking about. Variables by name. But I honestly don't really know how else I can do it, so we are just going to have to deal with it. Okay, I'm going to say list variable data string vars equals new list variable data. Okay, let's just go ahead and paste float vars, int vars, and bool vars. Even have trading cards from a space spreadsheet simulator. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, it's because I forgot semicolon. I was like, why are you giving me a squiggle? I didn't know that EVE Online had trading cards on Steam. I think the trickiest part about trading cards is deciding what to put on them. And then achievements, it's more about fun things to do that are actually worth being an achievement. So I guess I'll probably have a couple of low-hanging fruits in there, like beat the game. But I feel like I might actually lean more into the esoteric side of achievements. Or, well, maybe not so much on some things. I do want to have. I feel like a lot of my achievements are actually just going to be references to other video games, admittedly. And one of the achievements that I really, really want to have in there is just called Words That Kill, and that's just going to be beat all of the enemies in the game in combat. And that's just because it's a massive Metal Gear Solid reference, and it's hilarious to me, anyway. So we're going to say for int I equals 0, I is less than variables.count, I plus plus. Okay. We're going to say switch variables of I.type case variable type dot string break. We're just going to say string vars dot add variables of I. And then we're just going to paste this in a couple of times. Okay, so float, int, and bool. So bool vars, int vars, and float vars. I love Steam trading cards. Spend a fortune on your cards. Well, that's the other thing is, I I always feel like I don't know what the practical value of Steam trading cards are. Like besides collecting them, I guess, but maybe that's the point. It could just be that I never really got into the trading card phenomena in the 90s, um, and I guess early 2000s. It's kind of when it boomed. And well, I guess I don't know if there were booms before that, but that's definitely when it became big because you had Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon all at the same time, and everyone's like, "Oh, trading cards, trading cards, trading cards." Uh, all right, so that's all loaded in, and then we're just going to go ahead and load them all in again. So we're going to say variables.clear, then variables.addRange, string vars, string vars. There we go. Okay. I think this will do what I want. I'm not super happy about having to regenerate the entire list, though. That really does not make me happy. You get badges? I guess that's true. I guess I've just never really become heavily invested in the badge scene on Steam. Cat, yes, I see you. Aside from sales, I suppose, I do try to get the badge for each sale, although it's exceedingly difficult to do so. Cat, yes, I know. You want attention. Alright, start. Extras, author mode, create, Zork, game settings. Okay, by type. Aha! That did it! Just annoying that it takes that much effort for it to work. And then if we do it by alphabet, okay, that's all correct still. Hooray! Well, that's nice, I guess. Alright, we should probably change our background here to be black, I think. I'm actually going to pause real quick. I'm going to try to select it, although it's going to take a while. Blocker? What the heck are you? Huh. I don't know what blocker is. Weird. Okay. Let's go to view container, then custom game variables, root, buttons, I'm sorry, content, sorting, drop down, blah, blah, blah. Let's see, drop down list. Do I not want it to be? Oh, no, it's this. Hold on, sorry. Let's see. Is it this? Nope, it's not that. So that needs to be white. Then that means our content all has to be changed. So this needs to be different. Yeah, okay. So in theory, this should actually be black by default. And then when it's highlighted, we want it to be gray. Press to be dark gray. There we go. So now if I hover off of it, there we go. That's a lot better. Okay, so let's change that, I guess. Might as well do that. There's a handful of vanity features you get by playing with the card market. Plus drop rates for boosters and stuff is determined by your Steam level. Number of badges you've crafted. Yeah, well then I could see how that might be enticing for people. I guess I just always thought it was more trouble than it's worth. That doesn't mean I won't do it though. I do enjoy putting those things in games, and I think it's not terrible for people to have the option to pursue them. It's just that I personally have never done it. Um, yeah, I will. I'm sure that will actually be one of the more fun parts of releasing the game. Is as I get closer, I can do stuff like, what am I going to do all the achievements on, and or what am I going to do for achievements, and what am I going to do for the cards, and what badges am I going to make, all that stuff. Let's go ahead and turn you on. I'm going to go down to our content sorting, drop down, template, import content item. All right, item background, we're going to have it be solid sliced. Let's see. We're going to have our background by default be black, 50%, 25%. I lowered this down to like 40. 0.4, navigation is going to be none. And I think that's all we'll need. Okay. Item checkmark is also going to be a box, actually. So solid. Let's see what that looks like. It's very difficult to do so. So I'm going to disable the buttons here real quick. All right, let's look at our checkmark. So that's not quite what we want in terms of visuals. I need to change that a little bit. Can I do a position of 15? Yeah, that's a little bit better. Let's change our label to be from the left 25. Nope, 30. There we go. And then our check mark is going to be from the center, height of 10. Wow, really? Okay. 15 then? Yeah, that's good. Width of 15. Position of 10. Wow. Seriously? Gross. Just do a 0.5 increment. I hate doing that. Oh, it absolutely is. Yeah. I don't know. Again, it's one of those things that's nice, but just not something I do. Okay. I think we are good. Item label. We can probably bump that back down to like 25. Yeah, there we go. All right. So let's turn off our template. I'm also going to go ahead and change this arrow. I think I have a chevron somewhere. I think. Let's see if I can find it. Maybe I don't. Okay then. Instead, I guess we're going to do... Let's see. Do I even need that? Not particularly. So it might be better to just do this. Duplicate it. Put it here. Turn off the original. I'm going to have you say arrow. Single out. And you're not actually going to be that. Instead, we're going to make you a Text Mesh Pro. We're going to have it be a chevron. And we're going to make it our 8-bit font. Okay, not a chevron then. Greater than sign. There we go. Then we're going to rotate it by 90 degrees. That was position, not rotation. Wow, really? Huh, okay. That didn't go the way I was expecting it to. Okay. Huh. Right. We're going to zero you out again. Fine. Copy component. Paste component values. Arrow. Remove you. Stretch you out. Sorry, I'm currently getting it. I'm parenting. I am going to parent the chevron to a parent object. That way I can just have the parent be positioned correctly, and then I can center the arrow, and then have it rotate around its center instead of its right-hand pivot, because that doesn't really make sense. So another 4 insert functions working, 4 to go. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. 0, 0, 0. And centered. Centered and centered. And let's go ahead, just for fun, stretch out to the right. Pivot all the way there. Say 0. Say -10. I think we're good. We'll have a width, I guess, of 30. Seems fair. All right, now we can rotate this. -90. Wow, that is like, it's not super great. I guess I'll keep that in there for consistency's sake, but I'm not really happy with that, actually, as an appearance. It does not look too great. Might as well just turn off rich text. And do I really care if it's a raycast target? Not really. So, all right. Okay. Let's go ahead and hit apply on all of that. Save that, and let's see what that looks like. Did I actually change the background color? Yes, I did. Okay. Click through all this fun stuff. Do extras, author mode, create, Zork, game settings. All right. There we go. Nice. And that looks not terrible. I probably can shrink the box a little bit. Oh, right. We have that problem too. I always forget about that. The cursor renders below my drop-down pop-ups. Oh, crap. I also forgot to turn on my buttons. Whoops. Those are important, especially since now I can't get back. So we got to fix that. I also think I'm going to lower the highlight value here, make it a little bit closer to black, because I think it's just slightly too bright. All right, then. One of these days, we'll actually be able to do it. To actually stop playing. Let's see, is there anything else I want to do on today's stream? Maybe not. We might end up calling it a day after we get the variable menu to look right. Turn you on, go back down here to content, sorting, drop down, let's delete the original drop down arrow. And let's make this just like a little bit darker, like that. Apply. Unsave. Yeah, I wasn't sure if we were going to get around to actual interactions within the custom games today, but it doesn't seem like we're going to, because we've already been streaming for almost 2.5 hours. So start. I'm going to do extras, author mode, create, Zork. Still got to counteract that lag. It's really bad. Game settings. Alright, so all this stuff seems to be... Oh, right, we also need it to save whenever you sort. That's something we want it to do. So alphabetical, then by type. That all seems to work. And it doesn't look too bad to hover over it. Although it should probably not be a automatic navigation. So for those who haven't really messed with Unity's UI system, the way a lot of the UI elements recognize each other is there's something called navigation. So if we go to UI, container, custom game, buttons, so not that. We'll do content, scroll view, sort, sorting, here we are. Sorry. So there's a sorting dropdown. You can see here that it says, I guess I already set it to none. That's interesting. I wonder if it's doing something weird. So navigation basically just lets, imagine if you have a controller, navigation is how your controller will navigate a menu. But that's not really necessary in a game like Text Quest because Text Quest can't use controllers. It has to use a keyboard. And the problem with navigation is that when you have navigation enabled, it will highlight whatever the last clicked element was, and that can actually be really, really annoying when you don't want it. And in cases like this, I don't really see the reason to have the type or the alphabetical drop-down highlighted when you're not hovering over it. It's confusing, I think. So I tried to disable navigation whenever I see it, but I don't know if I've just missed one or if it's something super weird. Because I thought I got rid of it. It could be that it's just re-enabled. Either way, let's see, do I have anything else that I need to do? Not in particular. So, all right. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good place to stop for the day then. So, we get some screenshots. Garrett, that is timing. I'm sorry. Let me think if I can think of anything else that we could really do. Not really. Yeah, I think next week we're going to focus on getting variable interactions set up. So doing things that actually trigger and set variables in your custom game. But I don't know if, well, I guess we could try to think about how we want that to look right now. Oh, and dang it, you know what I keep forgetting? We're going to stop playing real quick. Ah! Dang it, I forgot that if I did that, it would grab them. Oh, well, that's fine for now. We're going to go to Custom Game Variables View. We're going to go down to here, and we're going to say author session dot save custom game. So when you sort them, it will save. So now we can come back here, see if everything looks wrong. Nope, looks like all of our variables are correct. Hooray! Let's see. Thank God I made the stupid decision to handle all my UI stuff in code rather than through the editor inspector. Well, if you're talking about event listeners, that makes sense. I don't know about generating your UI. That seems like it would be a lot of effort. Believe me, I've tried. I've tried to generate UGUI stuff through code before. I mean, I've done it. It's just it's way more effort than is necessary. Seems like a nightmare to deal with. UI is a nightmare. Yeah, I don't know. It's not the worst thing ever. I guess I will half take back that apology because I think we're going to take a quick look at some possible ways to set up our UI for variable interactions. So we might do that real quick. Might not be functional, but we might do some mock-ups. Because I'm still doing pretty all right after 2.5 hours. Let's see, not getting Fallout 3. That's brutal. Sorry about that, Anthony. I didn't realize that there were international limitations on trading through Steam. It's really weird. So we're going to go to Extras, Author Mode, Create, Zork. Okay, so the way things are currently set up, we have all of our variables in this menu. But we're going to need to set up some way to flag when a variable should be altered. So the really basic ones would be like have a variable that you set when you enter a room. So if, for example, let's go back here to our map. if I enter room 2, for example, I could set a variable to be true for entered room 2. Um, and trying to think of interactions we can, or ways we can set variables without actually doing anything, like without having interactions, because we don't have interactions working currently in custom games, so we can't really do anything with them there. Um, Instead, I'm trying to think of all the interactions that I do in Text Quest. It's usually when you do a specific interaction, which is also set through interactions, not through the actual movements of the character. That's not right. Um, yeah, that's exactly what I've done. It's gross, but once you've got enough helper functions to generate elements the way you want them, it's a breeze. That's. All right, are you working in Unity, Clairo? Or are you working in something else? I mean, it's all possible to generate in code. It just seems like a lot more effort. Because that's kind of like the old OnGUI system is code-based UI. You need to put secret rooms in the game. Do you mean in the custom game or in my game? I mean, my game will have secret rooms, but custom games, there's no reason why they couldn't have them. That's down to the user. Oh, we might also actually set up. I guess we don't have a way to check that, do we? I was going to say we could set up a warning for when a variable is not being used, but I don't think we really have any way of checking that right now. So let's select our start room. So we can change things like background image and audio, but we can't really do much with data right now. Trying to think about how I want to present this in Unity. Yeah, I mean, there's no reason why you can't generate your UI through code. You can speak from experience, Unity UI, inspector. Are you saying Unity UI inspector code is awful, or just Unity UI code in general is awful? Um, yeah, it's definitely weird. I'll give you that. They have some odd choices that they've made in terms of how they want to handle all that. In any case, so we go up to. I don't know if there's anywhere in here that I would really want to do some sort of data ID or variable that you want to increment or change somehow. Um, Where would I put? I'm not sure. Where would be the most logical place to put a variable like accessor of some kind? I don't know if I want to do some sort of logic there. Um, oh, jeez. No, I don't want to get into node-based logic. Oh no, am I gonna have to do that? It comes down to how flexible I want to be. Oh, geez, that's gonna make things so complicated. Sort of like limited scripting environments, kind of, where people can make their own logic chains. Oh dear, that would get complicated super quick. Um, I would probably have to have like a row here for, I don't know, logic. Let's go ahead and close here. Oh, node. Ah, that's terrible. uh, UI code in general. Yeah. Oh, yeah. UE blueprints in Unity? I'm talking about, oh, like having a blueprint type system. I mean, that's basically what I would have to do. But my problem is I'm trying to think how I want to expose a lot of this functionality to players. And it would be nice, like, if I had a little bit of like a logic box you could check here, and then it would pop up a new menu that's sort of like a node-based thing where you can say on room enter, then do this, and on. I guess it would be like blueprints where you'd say you'd have a starting node on room enter, and then you would have that go to a different node, and that node would be something like uh, modify variable, and then you could specify how you want that to look or what you want it to do. I don't know. I really don't like blueprints in Unreal. They drive me nuts because something that takes me 20 minutes to do in blueprints would take me like 5 to do in code, and it's annoying because everything has to get pushed through that stupid blueprint system at some point. Like everything is a blueprint. At some point, there will be some amount of blueprint in your project or on your asset. No matter what, you will have a blueprint there somehow. Even if it's just a wrapper for all C++ functionality, you still gotta have a stupid blueprint of it. Okay, so trying to think about this. So I'm gonna stop playing. I guess we could sort of pseudo set up a rough UI, like just to get started. I have a jumping off point for next weekend. Right? Yeah, next weekend should be fine. I think we could have a sort of node-based approach, but what would the events be? On room entered would probably be the big one, and then maybe on room exit. But I don't know what beside those two things I would want to do. So let's grab our UI object for custom room. Let's see, room. That's probably under map view. View custom room. Pop this open. All right. So I probably would want. Let's just say. Let's move some stuff around to see what we can get it to look right. Room info. I don't remember if that's. Okay, yeah, it is. God, we're gonna have so many sub-menus in the custom room stuff. It's kind of terrible. So we're gonna have like a draggable map inside of a room inside of a draggable map. Hey. Okay. Let me see what room audio. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. Connections, which I think is the far right. Yep. And the real question here is, where do I want to put the logic? I kind of want to put it here. So if I just like bump my room connections up by, I'm guessing 30, maybe 50 actually. So 140. That looks about right actually. So bump that up, and now I can have some kind of button here, except I can't because it wouldn't match up with these buttons. Hooray! That's not great. Let's move this down to 85, 80. Do that. 80 is fine, I think. Okay. Instead, oh boy, this is really, really bad. God, I'm just out of real estate. There's like nowhere left to put it. There's so much crap in this area already. I'm kind of nervous about having the logic down here as well, because that's right by the delete button. So, all right, Clarill. Well, thanks for stopping by. Yeah, okay, we're gonna just put a button here. So let's change our room connections back down to 80. And then we're going to sort of subdo this down to 110. Yep. But you become problematic, don't you? Position of 50. That might be okay. So let's duplicate you. We're gonna single everything out. Position of 0. Ah, dang it. Really? Great. So let's try making you 55. That's a little bit better. All right. So this is going to be, instead of add exit button, it's going to be room logic. Room logic button. We're going to change its title to say room logic. All right. And let's go ahead and add a field for that. So new exit button, public button, room logic button. Go ahead and let that compile. We're going to come all the way down here to private void on room logic clicked, capital C. We won't have it do anything for now. Oh, look at that. Speaking of crashes. Okay. Well, that's as good of a time as any. Tell me that I habitually saved at least. Of course I hadn't saved. That just figures. Well, alrighty then. I am just going to go ahead and do this real quick. So we're going to say room logic button dot on click dot add listener on room logic clicked, and we're going to call that a day, I guess, because Unity decided to crash. So that's as good of a time as any to I guess end the stream. So we got pretty far, and I mean we got all of our variable stuff done for the most part. So now variables are actually saving and loading, and they are sorting as we see fit, either alphabetically or by type and alphabetically. So all that's working. I think the next steps are to get logic sort of set up. Although we might just do an initial rough pass at that next week, and then move very quickly onto actual interactions with objects. So yeah, we'll move on to actually getting things like items that you can pick up and take with you, and things that you can just examine and whatnot. But I think that's what we're going to do pretty quickly, either next week or, if not that, the week after that. So, but that's a pretty good place to stop for the day, I guess. So, as always, I want to thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all next time.